Well, the woman behind that attack is Leila Deen. She's from the campaign group Plain Stupid. She can join us now live. I'm not going to give you a soapbox for half an hour, but why did you do it?
Peter Mandelson tried to take his own soapbox today to make political capital out of being seen to be green and being talking about low carbon futures. The only thing that's green about Peter Mandelson is the slime coursing through his veins, because he was instrumental in pushing through the third runway. Peter Mandelson isn't elected. He's able to sit in the cabinet because Gordon Brown forced him in there. He's best friends with a BAA lobbyist who he met many times before the decision to build a third runway. That decision was against all of the wishes of the majority of the people in this country, the majority of MPs, the 700 people who are going to lose their homes, and it's against the interests of millions of people that are going to lose their lives as a result of catastrophic climate change. What could we do but do this?
All right, that's 30 seconds. Well, it's certainly in the interest of business, and seeing he's the business secretary, it's exactly the kind of thing he should be doing.
It's in the interest of business against the interest of people and the planet. The Minister for Business is not meant to just represent business. He's meant to represent, he's meant to be elected for a start, but he's also meant to represent the interests of this country. And the interests of this country are not served by the building of a third runway. We've promised to reduce our emissions by 80% by 2050. If we build a third runway, that means all other industries have to reduce their emissions to zero. Is that fair on other industries? It's not. And yet we have no way of making that case other than through doing direct action, which historically has got fantastic change, but we have no other way of communicating with the government because they won't talk to us.
Well, I'm not sure how many people will applaud you throwing things in people's faces, but you know, today's summit was not about burning more fossil fuels, it was about low carbon energy. I mean, surely your timing's out if nothing else.
But how can you talk about a low-carbon future when you're building things like the third runway, which are going to massively increase our aviation's contribution to climate change and our total UK emissions? It's hypocrisy, and everybody knows that. Everyone knows that Mandelson is the king of spin. Why should we stand by and applaud him as he makes hollow gestures and empty promises that we know will not deliver the change we need? We only have 10 years, 15 years at most to stop climate change. All the science shows that. Why is the government and the minister, the unelected minister, allowed to ignore this fact? Why isn't our government able to represent us and our concerns? The fact is we have no other alternative. Democracy has failed us, and that's when we need to take direct action, and that's what we've done. I don't want to get up early in the morning and throw custard at Peter Mandelson, but I don't understand what other choice I have given that democracy has failed us.
I suppose the government's argument is that it's not black and white. There is a third way, as they'd like to say, and as well as building another runway at Heathrow, they're sticking huge amounts of efforts and money into a low-carbon future.
Yes, but these two things cancel each other out, and actually they're not doing nearly enough in terms of reducing our overall carbon emissions. I hope that they're going to up their game and start to deliver real change, but the fact is that the first way you reduce your carbon emissions is by not increasing your carbon emissions, by expansion of aviation. Actually, the demand for aviation isn't on the rise now that the economic crisis has hit. There is no rationale for building this third runway. The only people that want the third runway are BAA. In fact, the majority of businesses in London are not in support of the third runway. So who are they representing? They're representing vested interests. And Plain Stupid has shown in the last 2 years that this entire decision has been corrupt, and there's been massive collusion through BAA and the Department of Transport from the beginning. And that has been verified by representative MPs who represent this country. So what else do we need? We need to stand up against people that are going to make political capital out of saying they're green, when actually the only thing green about him, as I said, is the slime coursing through his veins.
OK, Leila Deen, thanks for your time this morning.